Welcome back to the show. Bitcoin XRP. Is XRP the new Bitcoin? I think so. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and DigPerspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $3.92 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is off 3.9%. Bitcoin, 117,900 plus. Ethereum, 3,700 plus. XRP is $3.09. We're off 0.1 on the 24, and we're off 1.4 on the 7-day. Looking at the range of price, range between 301 and 317 on the top. At 301, I didn't get a single message from either one of you that I should have bought the dip. Now, what is going on? You know, Band of Brothers, you should rent it sometime. You know, don't leave me hanging like that. I'm snoring, just sleeping away, buying opportunities, passing me by, you know. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what? They don't have to pass you by forever. You can go to XRPwealth589.com. XRPwealth589.com. This is the Caleb and Brown crypto brokerage where you can open up your free account. DAI and myself have come together, as we've done with others, to show you the trusted places that we use for our assets. I love this platform, and I love all the platforms I'm on, you know, for specific reasons. And this one here has a level of human customer service that just cannot be beat. You know, these markets freeze up, exchanges freeze up, but you could set your market orders with your prime broker directly on the phone, and then you could make sure that no matter what happens in the market, that your price is going to get met and your sell order will take place. This is what I'm talking about. Not to mention you get multiple layers of security, free institutional grade custody, no hidden fees, no spreads, all the rest of it. Go check them out. Open your free account today. You'll see why so many are doing it. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent just said Fed Chair Jerome Powell's replacement is probably coming within a few months. Oh, really? Take a listen.
It's not unusual to see an appointment announced, I don't know, well before then. Do you have any idea on when we might hear what the president is thinking in terms of Chair Powell's replacement?
I do. I'm going to be.
Can you tell us?
I'm going to be. Sure, Joe, if you could just lean forward, I'll tell you a little.
Oh, that's Connie Chung, whispered in my ear. Yeah,
so,
that's right.
We are putting together a very good list of candidates. And remember, there are going to be 2 seats opening up. Governor Kugler will be leaving in, I can't remember whether January, February, Chair Powell in May. So there will be 2 seats opening up. I'm putting together a list for President, Chief of Staff to review. We'll be interviewing people. So I would expect that we could have an announcement by the end of the year.
There you have it, by the end of the year. Well, let me share this little point of view with you. Make no mistake, part of this changing of the guard at the Fed isn't just because Jerome Powell won't lower rates. It could be a much bigger fight because the Fed realized that legislation is being passed as we speak to eliminate the Federal Reserve from making and issuing a stablecoin or central bank digital currency directly. What this really means is the Fed realized they're being shut out of the new digital on-chain economy. And this is not by accident, I don't believe. Leaving one question: who will be the Fed 2.0 of the new digital on-chain economy? Because we know it's not the Fed, and the Fed know it too. And now we understand a little more clearly why Jerome Powell doesn't want to change rates. And he probably doesn't like the president personally either, politically. So there is that. I'll take Ripple as the new Fed 2.0 for 500, Alex. That's how I'm rolling with this. We'll see where it goes, but I think there's a much bigger reason for all of this tension with the Federal Reserve, and they realize that there's a play from the U.S. government and this administration to cut the Fed out of the new monetary system the entire world is moving to. Think of it for a moment. Oh boy. And then here's 29 seconds of JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, and Senator Elizabeth Warren getting exactly what she was looking for at the time. Listen.
I've always been deeply opposed to crypto, Bitcoin, et cetera. You pointed out the only true use case for it is criminals, drug traffickers, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, and that is a use case because it is somewhat anonymous, not fully, and because you can move money instantaneously, and because it doesn't go through, as you mentioned, all these systems have built up over many years, know your customers, sanctions, OFAC, they can get bypass all of that. If I was the government, I'd close it down.
Okay.
If I was the government, I'd close it down. And look how
Okay.
how happy her face is. She's like, okay, it's exactly what we planned before I asked you. Meanwhile, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase are bringing crypto to 80 million plus users, while months before he was telling Congress, yeah, if I were you, I'd shut it down. But meanwhile, they were building all of this in the interim. They're liars. They're all liars. It's called talking your book. That's the phrase. And meanwhile, breaking Visa ad support for PayPal's USD, USDG, EuroC stablecoins. Settlement now live on Stellar, Avalanche, Ethereum, and Solana. Ooh. That's adoption right there, ladies and gentlemen. And the world will soon hear about the greatest digital asset on the planet. Remember when Dom and Phil Kwok just sat this week in front of the New York Stock Exchange? This is hilarious. Watch these guys. This is what they saw as soon as they come out of the New York Stock Exchange. They go on Stock Exchange. They talk about the entire Wall Street's going to be tokenized. And then they're calling for $1,000 XRP by 2030 and walk out and see this when you walk out. A Ripple advertisement right on Wall Street. That's what you see. Come on in. I love it. Meanwhile, how about this for a change of tone? Securities Exchange Chair Paul Atkins, says America must do more than keep pace with the crypto asset revolution. We must lead it. This is the guy sitting in Gary Gensler's chair. Thank goodness that guy's gone. Shout out to you, Chairman Paul Atkins. We are excited about your leadership to say it's not enough for us to just keep pace. We must lead the crypto asset revolution. And he stands ready to help get the job done. Now that is, what a remarkable change of direction. Meanwhile, boy, this is exciting. Ripple is seeking to hire vice president of partnerships focused on institutional decentralized finance for its Ripple X division. This to me says we have a lot of people from institutions coming to Apex and always asking about Ripple X and what's the next big thing coming. So it seems right to me that they want to bring in a vice president of partnerships focused on bringing together and solidifying those early ideas with the problem solving for the institutions. This is nothing but good news. And so is this. Let's talk about Ripple Swell right now. Ripple Swell has got a who's who of Wall Street and traditional finance at Swell 2025, and how fitting it is, starting with one of the keynote speakers here, who you recognize her face, is in fact the CEO of NASDAQ. That's who this is, Adena Friedman. Check it out. This is unbelievable. She will explore the potential of digital assets, blockchain, tokenization, and other related topics. The CEO of NASDAQ. Dom and Phil Kwok were just at Wall Street at the New York Stock Exchange talking about the entire stock exchange will be tokenized and will be crypto, which is absolutely accurate. Director of Digital Assets, not the head of digital assets at BlackRock, that's Robbie Mitchnick, but the director of digital assets at BlackRock, Maxwell Stein, set to speak at Ripple, Swell too. Well, let's just get a look at the who's who. There's Adina from NASDAQ, Sandy Call from the head of innovation of Franklin Templeton, right? Caroline Weinberg, Chief of Product Innovation Officer of BNY, Ryan Rugg from Citibank, one of the largest liquidity providers, Maxwell Stein, as we said, from BlackRock. So we're getting the ETF, is what you're saying, right, Ripple? That's what you're saying. Cynthia Lowe-Bassett, head of Fidelity Digital Asset Management. Shout out to Cynthia, heard of Fidelity. That's a biggie. Then, of course, we got Michael Higgins from Hidden Road, Global Head of Business Development. CME Group, heard of them. Welcome, Giovanni. Yeah. Stuart Alderati, as we know. Obviously, DBS Bank, Evie Thunis. This is Managing Director, Head of Digital Assets Institutional Banking Group, DBS. That's who's there. And a few others here. I tell you, you know, this is what we're looking at. This is the kind of party we're having here. This party right here spells tokenization of the real world assets and the larger side of where this market is going in my eyes. And let us not lose sight of the fact that Bloomberg analyst Eric Balkunas projects XRP ETF approval by October, following the FCC's updated listing standards for crypto ETPs. This is exciting news. Shout out to Eric Balkunas for that update. You know, there's so many things we have in a short window here. Let me see if I can just pull them off the top of my head. One is we need the case to end. You know, they had the report due by August 15th, but that case could settle and end anytime between now and then. Maybe they even extend it to after legislation. I don't know. But we got that in front of us that needs to end. We got ETF approvals that we're waiting on. Almost 20 now, waiting for BlackRock to file theirs. Then we have what else? We have the Clarity Act that needs to pass and become law. What they're looking for that? October. Isn't that remarkable? October. Then we have Ripple and the banking license and the Federal Master Reserve count. Should be end of October, early November to hear about that. There is so much good in front of us right now. I mean, my goodness, it's like, and the price is holding, you know, retracing, retouching, and testing supports and all this, but the price is holding. And we still have all of that good news in front of us. I like the position we're in, ladies and gentlemen. Riz says, if you know, you know, give him a follow. Could XRP be the next Bitcoin? I think the answer is yes, but so much more than Bitcoin. And I don't mean offense to that, but it just does more. Bitcoin can't settle other tokens. The XRP Ledger DEX can. That's the question here. And the question comes from Bitcoin News. Recent article on Motley Fool just named XRP the next Bitcoin, pointing out its $3 price tag versus Bitcoin's 120. Sub-second settlements with Swift days-long process. XRP growing use as a bridge currency in 11,000 plus institutions. That's the question here. Bitcoin has seen its price skyrocket this year thanks to broader adoption on Wall Street and exciting new legislation surrounding crypto landscape. XRP has emerged as a popular alternative to mainstream cryptocurrency investments in recent years. Smart investors taking a closer look at XRP's price and the likelihood of it becoming an integral part of payment networks in the future. And not to mention the fact, just like Charles Hoskinson from Cardano said the other day, we played a clip, Bitcoin 10x's from here. Okay. Well, these other altcoins like XRP and others are going to do way more than 10x. So I'm not saying not have Bitcoin. I'm just saying that the upside potential for so many other projects out here, especially ones that are going to be adopted inside of the financial system, bringing utility to the network every day without fail, which means consistency in pricing and less volatility over time. Then I say, no. XRP cannot be the next Bitcoin, but it can be bigger. And until we get there, XRP sets its sights on $11, but $22 isn't off the table. Now, we know who this is. This is the one and only OG, Egg Rag Crypto right here, showing you the look. Low side of the range, 11 bucks. Upper side of the range could be 22 or higher. You know how it goes. The charts are saying what the charts are saying. All we have to do is watch all of these fundamental pieces of news that I just laid out over the next couple months to see if they all are handled exactly the way we need to be. And if not, we'll readjust what we got in front of us to understand what's happening at the time. But I tell you, the United States of America is full steam ahead to be a leader in cryptocurrency, and XRP and the XRP ledger and Ripple, the company, are smack dab in the middle of it. Don't believe it. It's still true. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. It's just my digital perspectives. I'll catch all of you on the next one.